on, Nerd Paraders? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for coming to hang with me today. Boy, do I have a story for you guys. Okay, so literally moments ago, Karen and I just got home from Star Wars Celebration in Chicago, and this was a wild trip. I'm going to spin you a tale here, and I want you guys to to really get a laugh out of it, because at this point we're laughing about it, but at the time we were rather stressed out. So you may have seen on the news, but Star Wars Celebration this year took place in Chicago, and it was the weekend of April 11th through the 15th of 2019. Well, it turns out on April 14th, this massive snowstorm rolled through Chicago, and over 1,000 flights for Chicago O'Hare were actually canceled. Ours was one of them. So we were scrambling like mad people trying to get home, and the earliest that they were telling us that we could get home was going to be on Wednesday, which would be, let me look at my calendar here, the 17th. So like 3 days after we had planned stuff. Karen had to get back to work, I had to get back home to make some videos for you guys, and it was just turning into a colossal shit show. Grown men were crying in the hallways of the airport, and then Karen grabbed me by the arm and we managed to try to do a couple of other things. No, I'm kidding, but it was an absolute shit show. It was wall-to-wall people. There were something like 15,000 stranded people in this airport, and we were some of those people. So we started scrambling, doing the best that we possibly could to find any type of other flight. Unfortunately, they were all sold out or packed or ridiculously priced. And I'm talking like $1,500 to $2,000 a seat. It was absolutely wild. So we tried a couple of other options. Now, I know I'm still wearing my Star Wars shirt. It's covered in fuzz. I literally just got home, but I wanted to get this video recorded to tell you about what happened while it's still fresh in my mind, because it's absolutely so wild. So we go from the airport and we try to attempt to rent a car. We get to the rental car area, and my God, the line is insane. Each line for each rental car was an hour deep easily. We finally make it up to the front of the line, and the lady's like, "Oh, we just sold out of the last rental car, unless you made a reservation." And we're like, "No, we didn't make a reservation." So by the time we get up to the rental car line, every rental car in the Chicago airport area of O'Hare was completely sold out. So that option was just done. We couldn't do anything about it. There was nothing that we could do at that point. So we scrambled and scrambled. We couldn't even find a hotel because we had already checked out of our hotel. But luckily enough, Karen had a friend that lived in the city that put us up for the evening. It was at that point that I had the bright idea to try to return to my home and native land, Indiana, which isn't too terribly far away from Chicago. So we started checking flights out of the Indianapolis airport. Lo and behold, we did manage to score one, but it was not cheap. It was not cheap. And we had to figure out how we were going to get from Chicago to Indianapolis. Well, hilariously enough, since we couldn't rent a car, we had the bright idea that we were going to Uber this shit. That's right, we were going to Uber our asses from Chicago to Indianapolis Airport. That, by the way, that's like a 3.5-hour Uber drive, roughly. We'll say 3 hours. So we start out this adventure bright and early, Monday morning on April 15th. We get up at 7 o'clock. We go back to the hotel that we were staying at. We pick up my brother, and we attempt to Uber. So it turns out Uber has no idea where they're taking you until you get in the car, because when we said we would like to go to the Indianapolis airport, please, the Uber driver looked at us like we had 3 heads, kind of like something along the lines of this, like... We managed to convince the Uber driver, after some persuasive Jedi mind trickery, and also bribes, mostly bribes, predominantly bribes, we managed to convince the Uber driver to drive us from Chicago to Indiana, to fly out, to make it back before April 17th. And I'm happy to say that I'm back home, ready to record for you guys again. And it was a absolutely insane ending to a really interesting convention and trip. Now, don't worry, there will be a convention video. I did record footage at the convention. We had a pretty cool time, and you'll get to see what the convention was like from my point of view. There were a lot of cool things that we got to experience. One of my favorites was getting the opportunity, the rare opportunity, to demo the VR Oculus Rift Vader Immortal. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys about that in the upcoming Star Wars convention video. But I wanted to tell you my tale, spin you a yarn of tale, whatever, and explain what was actually going on, because it was such a wild thing in the trip that I had to tell you guys about it. I wanted to tell you guys about it and make you a part of our crazy adventure. When we were sitting in the airport, I was so desperate that truth be told, Karen and I ended up dropping something like $2,000 just to get back home before the middle of the week, and it was the absolute cheapest that we could get home. That was the lowest amount that we could spend to get home, but I think it was well worth it. We didn't have anybody to take care of our poor kitties, so we must return home so that they could be properly fed and not end up dead. Rhyming on point, still a Nerd Parade video. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang. This is a short vlog update, and I wanted to let you guys know that I am home safe and sound, but tell you the tale of how we got stranded in Chicago. It was a pretty wild trip. The convention was a blast, but the ending is something that I will never forget. I have never had a flight canceled due to inclement weather or any other reason, and I'd never experienced something as wild as that airport was in disaster mode. The disaster protocol might need a little bit of an update, because that was an utter shit show, but it was definitely an experience, one that we're now looking back and laughing on. Upwards of 15,000 souls stranded, either sleeping in the airport, hoping and praying to find a way home. It was absolutely wild. It was a wild weekend, but I have returned, and I'm ready to record for you guys once again. Thank you so much for coming to hang. Thank you for watching this vlog-style update. And thank you guys for being you. Remember to take care of yourselves out there, stay awesome, and we'll catch you in the next Nerd Parade video. Later.